Hi again. Overcast day. We got really solid into the rainy season now. I like it. Really love to hike in the rain. It's so refreshing. There's nothing better than when you got Mother Nature showing that she's still the boss. No matter how much we try to manipulate her, it won't work. I love it. Feeling alive. Today's topic: lymph nodes. As always, when I'm closing in on the day where I've got to have my PSA taken, I get a little bit anxious because is it working or is it not? And if it's not, what am I then gonna do? And I wouldn't say I'm getting paranoid, but I've got those few moments also whenever something starts to ache or I have a sensation somewhere, it's like, oh, what is that? Is that because the cancer is getting out of control and it is spreading, or what is it? So yeah, a few moments every now and then. It's not all smile and joy. But topic lymph node is because there was a woman in one of the comments in one of the groups a while back that I think was when I mentioned that I had a stage 3 with the spread to a lymph node, that she commented that did not necessarily mean something bad. Maybe it's just doing its job, she said, and I should immediately just get a lymph node flush. It didn't make much sense to me back then, and I was preoccupied with some other research. There are so many things you can research in this topic here. It's extremely interesting, and it's a good challenge. It's a good mental challenge. I love it. So I didn't really get around to that one, but now I have kind of a twilight zone right now. I've got very little work to do, so I've got more time to do my research, and I'm kind of already settled in on my Lymph vitamin C kind of protocol. Still have to start it because I still haven't got the equipment, but it gave me a little bit more time to dig into the lymph node thing. And I have to say, I'm extremely lucky. I don't really understand to what degree I am lucky until now that I haven't chosen any official treatment, because the lymph nodes, they're extremely important. I mean, it's not that we have many organs that we don't really use. Maybe apart from the appendix, I don't think we have any spare things that we don't need. So obviously the lymph node serves a purpose. But the purpose of the lymph node is actually kind of a filter in your body, and it will take foreign objects and it will destroy it. This is where you find T cells for once. So when I went to have an MRI scan and it showed no swollen lymph nodes and didn't show any sign of spread to the bones, which turned out to be right. But yet again, I had one single lymph node, 5 millimeter, showing signs of prostate specific antigen activity. When I did the PET scan, well, one can speculate that was the autopsy causing that. It would be very logical if it's in the case, because my tumor is as big as the prostate itself, and poking that one would cause maybe it to slip through. It's very easy to imagine that anyway, but that's a different story. But if that has happened, then obviously if your immune system is working, if your body is working, you will have your lymph node lighting up with the prostate specific antigen. That's what it is. And that's not a bad sign. Yes, I agree. It's a sign that something has slipped out of the prostate, otherwise it wouldn't be visible in the lymph node. But if it does slip out of the prostate, you want it to be in the lymph node. That's where it's actually been handled. ครับ ผมทำวิดีโอเฉยๆ Well, just some of the locals here thinking I'm filming the view, which is not really the case unless you're calling me the view. No, anyway, so if you want to see the cancer activity outside of the prostate, one place you want to see it is in the lymph node, because there it is being handled. That's where it's being killed. That's where it's been taken care of. So my job was basically just to keep myself from not having it spreading. How do you do that? Activity. you shake up the lymph system. That can be done by brisk walking, as I'm doing right now, or by running, or by any other kind of exercise where you're jumping up and down and doing things. And it also kind of puts my anxiety for my next PSA very much at ease indeed, because I just realized that everything they do when they treat you is detrimental to your health. So any treatment I would do, if I'll ever go to get one, has to be like the emergency brake. I think I mentioned that in another video, which means when it is full-blown stage 4, yes, and you know that you're now heading at a collision course and you are still hoping, planning, researching, figuring out how to solve it on a holistic manner, and you need more time, then you hit the brakes. Be that with whatever you feel like is needed. At least that's, as far as I'm concerned, the way to do it. But anything less than stage 4 is just to kill yourself slowly to choose any treatment. That's just how it is, because you've got a lot of time when it comes to prostate cancer. I keep saying you got. I mean I got. And it's very important for me to emphasize this. I'm not giving advices as to what other people should do, because each person, each choices. Because you also have to remember, you have to be able to back up your decisions mentally. You have to believe in what you're doing. You can't just go say, oh, I've seen Life with prostate cancer and he does like this and he looks like he's smiling, then I got to do it the same way. But if you don't believe in it, it won't work. It won't work the same way. So it's very important to emphasize, I'm saying this because this is what I believe in and this is what I'm doing. And I would never take a public treatment until it becomes absolutely imperative, because you're trying to mitigate the problem with the cancer, and you're instinctively apparently saying, oh, we got spread, it's in the lymph node, emergency. But it doesn't need to be an emergency. If it's in the bones, yeah, we're closing in on something that ain't all that good, but it is not the case for me, at least at the last scan. So when you hit it hard with ADT, or even worse, chemotherapy, you're basically killing the body's own ability to handle it, and you're getting 100% dependent on medicine. But not just that. If you're talking chemotherapy, then you are making your body or the cancer chemo resistant. So say you do a full therapy, 8 weeks, 5 days a week, whatnot. Once you've done that, when you have reoccurrence, you can't use chemotherapy anymore, because now the cancer is chemo resistant. So see, that's already a very bad situation to be in. Then we got ADT. We've mentioned it before. The list of adverse events are really, really long. You've got to take medicine to avoid diabetes. You've got to take medicine to avoid osteoporosis. And there are so many side effects that you have to take add-on medicine, and you're just basically killing off the body's own ability to do anything. I know that when we were talking official treatment with my oncologist, he talked about giving me ADT and radiation. And I know for a fact that when I look at all these papers that they will just radiate away on all the lymph nodes, or if they're doing surgery, they'll just take all the lymph nodes in order to make sure that they don't have cancer spread to them. But we need the lymph nodes. And I don't want, I mean, to me it's almost like you're feeling cold and then you're peeing your pants. Sure, it works now, but in a few moments later you'll have it freeze up and you'll be much worse off. And that's exactly how I see the treatments are. And people are choosing them out of fear, and I understand that fear, because we have been told that cancer is a very bad thing, and I suppose it is. But you know what? Life is a bad thing, but all you can do is to get the best out of your life. And so we're back full circle to what I'm saying always on this channel here. I'd much rather have shorter life with high quality than longer life with low quality. I'm not here to compromise my quality of life just to prolong it, because I know where it's heading anyway. No matter how joyful and happy I am, there will be an expiration date for everything. I might just as well get the best out of that. And that's where I am. And I can always jump on the ADT, as I said, but as I am now, no longer nervous about my PSA. Yes, I have my dreams. I want it to work. I want to prove that I'm doing it the right way, to myself first and foremost. But if I can help other people by doing it, I'll be just happy. But I am certain that all the treatments you can choose are just detrimental to your health, and you will shorten your life by you. Forgive me for that. I mean, I am certain I will be shortening my life unnecessarily if I am choosing public treatment. I am 100% sure that by enhancing my body's immune system, by doing all I can, by exercising and eating right, and drinking right, sleeping right, avoiding stress, don't do alcohol, I will provide the body with all it needs. I will. That brings me to another thought. This is just a brain fart, so you can take it as you will. As you know, if you've seen some of my other videos, I am trying to lower my testosterone just a tad, because there's no reason to feed the cancer with too much testosterone. So I'm trying to do it with licorice, which I, by the way, have dropped because my blood pressure went up. And I'm trying to do it with soy milk, which seems to have some good properties in other terms as well. But lately I realized maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. Maybe I would actually be better off not touching anything about the testosterone and just hit it hard. And then I start thinking about a episode in Top Gear. I'll just slow down a little bit here because I'm heading up to a temple and I can hear there's noise up there. I had a program of Top Gear I watched once with Jeremy Clarkson or something like that. And he was given a sport car, a really fast one of a kind. And he was told on this closed track that in the curves he was to do 250 kilometers an hour. And if he did less than 250 kilometers an hour, he would die. Now that is it's a very opposite of what you will feel like. If you're in a new car and you want to get the feel for it, you will slowly increase the speed until you feel comfortable, and you'll give it a little bit more. But the reality was, if he was entering the curve in that specific car, he would kill himself if he did 200 an hour. He had to cross the 250 kilometers an hour mark in order to survive. And he did say in that series that was the most scary thing he ever done. And why was that? Because again, it defies logic. The faster you go, the more dangerous it is, right? Well, it was because of the gravity forces. The car was built in such a manner that the faster it went, the higher the wind force will press the car towards the concrete, towards the tarmac. And so if he was doing less than 250, the downward force would be too little and he would skid off track and would kill himself. But if he reached that 250 kilometers an hour mark, he would stay on track. Now I'm just thinking in terms of testosterone. Maybe that's the same thing. Yes, testosterone is what is feeding the cancer, but maybe it can be drowned, maybe it can be overcome, maybe it can be wrestled if it's just been hammered with a very healthy body, including a high testosterone. Because you also got to remember that androgen deprivation therapy is closing off not just testosterone. Testosterone is one of the androgens, but there are several androgens. So you are with androgen deprivation therapy really compromising your health. So I will continue with this here just for the sake of the experiment. It's only another week and we'll have the PSA done and I'll see if it has any impact. Now the licorice is stopped because my blood pressure has for some unforeseen reason raised up the last week. 7 days I've been at high normal, but I've only been able to bring it down to high normal after 2 or 3 attempts by breathing and concentrating. It starts off at grade 1. We're talking 175 over 96, I think was the highest I measured in the morning I wake up, and I really don't know why it is. It has me a little bit worried, I have to be honest on that one, because I'm doing everything right as far as I can see. That being said, I've had some personal issues a couple of days ago, a few days, a week, with a friend, which would really had me wired up. That could have an impact. I've stopped fenbendazole for a while, out of force. I don't have the money to buy a new one. That's one thing. But the other thing is I thought maybe also a good idea to give it a break. since my bilirubin numbers were a little off. Let's see what I have. And so that's also what we've got to remember. Nobody knows really what it takes 100%. So to take a break is always good. Just don't take it too long a break. But I'm only taking a break from one of my protocols, and that's not the primary protocol. The primary protocol for me is the RSO. So let's see what's going to happen. Anyway, my new consideration here has just basically made me a lot more happy and with less anxiety as I'm moving towards my next PSA. But I am seriously contemplating also having an MRI done. If I can figure out how to get the money, I'll pay the money, and to see if there's any changes on the MRI compared to the last one. And I might do that on the year day of my first MRI, just to have it a little bit beautiful. But let's see. For now, it's all about having my heart rate up, working a little bit, and I'm slowly closing in on the stairs in the temple. And then my breath is changing. I'm not sure you want to hear me gasping for air. So until next time, as always, stay happy and healthy.